Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Taylor Blueprint. I'm of course your host Jaden Hughes, and today we have two very special guests from the Suarez Laboratories. So just to start, could I have the guests say their name and a little bit about themselves?
Sure. I'm Ayushman Mukherjee, and I'm an incoming junior at Revere High School, and I came here to check out the Suarez Eye Tracking Lab and its facilities.
My name is Tausif Ulchash. I have a master's in business data analytics. While taking my master's, I was working at the Suarez Lab, and now I'm working full-time as a neuroanalytics lead for Sean Christie LLC.
Today we're just going to take a dive into one of the coolest hidden gems here on campus, the Suarez Eye Tracking Lab. This lab lets us literally track where people look, see exactly where their eyes go, and when watching something or looking at a screen.
And we put it to the test using something that pretty much everyone has watched: Super Bowl commercials.
So Tassif, could you just break down what the lab actually does?
Yeah, sure. So the Suarez Lab is a physiological data analysis lab. When I talk about physiological data analysis, I'm talking about facial expression analysis, sentiment analysis, eye tracking data. We have EEG module, which basically collects data from the brain and we can interpret that. We have GSR module that takes into account the saline level that we have. So when we are talking with people or when people are looking at something, it can actually pick the minute amount of saline level in our skin or the increase of sentiment or emotion that the usual camera cannot pick. So it's a really cool lab that the clients, the professors that the students can take, and the researchers that are working there, they can get their hands-on experience on really cool projects working with really technical tools and develop their technical skills.
Alright, if you could just sort of expand on the gaze maps and the heat maps, please.
Yeah, sure. So the data that we collect using the eye tracking lab gets visualized in two really cool ways. Number one, we have gaze maps, which show the path that someone's eyes take using little dots and trails, and heat maps, which show where someone looks the most using warm colors like red for high attention areas and cooler colors like green for lower attention areas.
So we put this lab to the test. We had 4 participants come in and watch 3 separate Super Bowl ads. So each one kind of had their own feel to it. One was sort of chaotic and visually appealing, one was kind of funny, and the other one was sort of one that you would see on an everyday basis.
Right. We had one that was emotional and heartwarming, one that was, like Jaden said, super high energy and funny, and another one that was kind of chaotic with a lot of visual effects.
We didn't tell the participants what we were looking for. We just asked them to watch it like they normally would, sitting on their couch at home. The eye tracker was recording everything and exactly where their eyes moved and what they focused on.
So then, at the end of the study, we asked all 4 participants to state which one they liked the best, and they had to write a brief description why.
So let's talk about what we found. So for the most part, each commercial's heat map, every participant was either looking at one of 3 places.
The only odd one out here was the funny Seal Mountain Dew ad. There were so many things happening on screen and it was so chaotic that everyone was kind of looking in different directions. There were a few timestamps though where everyone looked at the same thing.
Thomas, if you just expand on why companies could use this and utilize studies similar to enhance their online presence and performance.
Yeah, so it's really important for companies or clients when they're, let's say, developing a product, developing a package, or let's say it's a social media campaign or social media post. So rather than just creating it and then change it, this physiological data analysis actually gives them those data points and the analysis and the report that they need to create those data-driven decisions. Like, let's say they're working with product packaging, and rather than having the package to be yellow, they want it to be red. But rather than just going with their gut feeling of changing the yellow to a red, when we have physiological data analysis in place, we have those quantifiable metrics, as we have those numerical data, and we have the researchers' interpretations of how the colors would work. So This is what Ayushman talked about as well, the gaze maps, the heat maps. This gives us the visual interpretation of where people are looking at, but other than that, we have the quantifiable measures as well, the AOIs. So in our lab, we can create a scenario where, let's say, the participants we are talking about, they are actually representing a consumer base. So what we are trying to do is have that consumer base see that product of our client we're working with, and also the competitors' products as well. So we can actually see when those products are in real life, in real shelves, how those are going to compete with each other, or how people are going to engage with it. And companies now do have focus groups, or they would have one-on-one interviews where they have some sort of data that they can interpret, but majority of the time those are interpreted by human beings that are open to interpretation. Those data are open to many interpretations. But when you have numerical matrices, when you have quantifiable matrices or AOI matrices, you actually know what the numbers are telling you, and you can actually differentiate what changes you need to bring and how people are engaging. So rather than having ambiguous or like gut feeling decision, companies can use the lab, companies can use the eye motions and the capabilities of physiological data analysis to make those and take those data-driven decisions.
So what does this tell us? First, clear visuals and emotional focus matter. If you want people to remember something, make sure that every key moment or object is visually prominent and emotionally compelling.
Also, less can be more. When an ad or video is too busy, the brain doesn't know where to look and the message gets lost. Clean design, contrast, and motion with purpose are huge.
The eye tracker also doesn't lie. People might say that they notice logos, but the data show that they never actually looked at it. That's why tools like this are so powerful for advertisers, educators, and designers. Tasa, if you could just expand on how it's open to students and stuff.
Yep. So in our lab, yes, we work with a lot of clients, yes, we work with a lot of professors, but this lab is not only for clients and the professors. It's open to all students who want to pursue research, who wants to see how the lab is working and what sort of professional career there is after they graduate. And this is one of the major aspects of the department and also the lab, is that we try to give these students the experience that they need after they graduate, and also to land that full-time opportunity for the first time in their career, which we all know is a tough thing to do. So we have courses, or the department have courses where, like the marketing research, the capstone classes. In these classes, these students are actually working at the lab, working with projects, working with clients. So they are not only building networking or networks with the clients, they're also working in real-time, real-world projects that they can use in their resume, and have that one final push that they need to be in the top 5% or top 10% of candidates to land that full-time opportunity. And I'm a very good example of this, is because I have been working at the lab for close to 1.5 years, and I have worked on multiple projects. From the project, I met with my current supervisor, we had a talk, and now basically that whole thing, my time in the lab, it turned into something that I can do full time, and it gave me a full-time opportunity that I can take as a career opportunity as well. So yeah, the lab is always open to students, and it's a really good tool, and it's a really good method for students to get that experience and be in that top 5, top 10% of candidates to have a good start in their professional career.
So whether you're studying psychology, marketing, or any other area of business, this lab gives you the tools to actually test how people think and respond in real life. Imagine using this tech to test website layouts, online learning tools, or even film edits.
And like Taussig was saying, it gives students here a huge edge in terms of research, real-world experience, and creative interpretation. This visual component gives researchers, businesses, etc., an ability to find the why to what they're doing.
So that's it for our deep dive into the Suarez Eye Tracking Lab. and how a few Super Bowl ads helped us see human interaction in real time. Huge shout out to the lab team for letting us run our little experiment, and to the participants for letting us follow their eyeballs. That's it for today's episode of the Taylor Blueprint. I'm Jaden Hughes.
And I'm Ayush Bond. Follow us on the UA marketing account on Insta and, of course, the Taylor Institute. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.